They did it. They came out and said
after a recount.
If you don't get why that's completely different than whatever you're trying to say is an equivalency,
hold on a second.
Then I can't talk more about this. I just have to accept this. Let me just.
Let me clarify though.
But it is.
I'm actually not. But I'm not trying to excuse all of that.
It's as
really
crazy
not.
as
I'm not saying that
men can have babies
I'm not
on the
saying
other
that.
side. No, but it is.
No, there's a lot more nuance than that in this.
No, there isn't.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on a second. Hold on.
There's no nuance.
I'm not saying that the way that he took that.
What is up, guys? TYSON DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Bill Maher gets absolutely demolished here by Zachary Levi in a heated debate on Bill Maher's show. And if you're not familiar with Zachary Levi, he is an actor, former actor, possibly. I don't know if Hollywood's going to take him back after he openly endorsed RFK and then openly endorsed Donald Trump. We all know how Hollyweird works when it comes to actors and actresses talking about being conservative or leaning towards the right, because Hollyweird is predominantly filled with Democrats and lefties, right? Let's jump into this video. I'm going to be jumping in and out of these clips just to kind of share a little bit of insight. But shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would.
Essentially, it's like the beginning of intelligence is recognizing that you know nothing or something like that. And we have got to start from that place.
Yeah.
And people don't, because they are fed the lies.
Right.
And we got to have grace with people, because they are also in their hearts. They think they're voting for the right thing. They think they're fighting for the right thing.
No.
They've just been deceived, you know.
Again,
and maybe we have.
I think, MSNBC is a giant problem at this point, but don't tell me that Tucker Carlson isn't.
I don't know that Tucker Carlson is more of a problem. I think Tucker Carlson might be. No, seriously, hear me out.
Oh, it's okay.
Tucker Carlson is at least saying things he actually believes, and that I think he's done a lot of research.
We actually have proof that is not the case, because you must have seen this story. You seem so well informed.
I'm pretty well informed, but I don't catch everything.
You're very.
I don't catch everything.
Okay, it came out. His text came out in the lawsuit. I mean, Fox News had to pay $780 million. You remember this, after the 2020 election, because they claimed falsely about election stealing stuff that Trump had trumped up, to get them to say, and Tucker Carlson, we have his private text where he's saying that he absolutely doesn't believe this. And he
here is a story about Tucker Carlson. Bill Maher's referring to the story of Tucker Carlson and the conceding of the election. And Tucker Carlson openly came out on some tweets. Mind you, Tucker Carlson was currently employed, and I'm not defending this by any means, but he was currently, at the time of these messages, he was employed by Fox. I know for a fact, since he has left Fox, he has been more outspoken. And I'm not saying that the left, or let me pardon that. I'm not saying that the right does everything correctly, because that's not the case. Neither the left or the right do things correctly or on the up and up. That's just what it is, right? We're all human. We all make mistakes. But I feel that the right has been more open about the mistakes that they made and conversating about the reasons why they've changed their decisions. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. But here is that story on Tucker Carlson.
Also include a bunch of text messages between Fox host Tucker Carlson and a member of his staff, in which he actually says and details his disdain for former President Trump. He writes, quote, "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait. I hate him passionately. I blew up at Peter Navarro today in frustration. I actually like Peter, but I can't handle much more of this. That's the last 4 years. We're all pretending we've got a lot to show for it, because admitting what a disaster it's been is too tough to digest. But come on, there isn't really an upside to Trump." Close quote. Those are the words of Tucker Carlson.
Your private texts about him around the 2020 election were made public. In one of them, you said you passionately hate Trump. When that came out, you said that you actually know you love him. So how do you explain the difference?
You know, my texts reflect a lot of things, including how I feel at the moment that I sent them. That specific text I happen to know, since I had to go through it forensically during my deposition in a case I was not named in, that I had nothing to do with whatsoever. It's crazy how civil suits can like be used to hurt people you disagree with politically. But I was mad at a very specific person. I mean, really what that, I mean, you're asking me, I'll tell you exactly what that was. It was the second the election ended and they stopped the vote counting on election night. I was like, well, this is, and it's all now mail-in ballots, electronic voting machines. I was like, that's a rigged election. I thought that then, I think it now. Well, now it's obvious that it was. But at the time I was like, I feel like that was like crazy what just happened. But I don't want to go on TV and say that's a rigged election because I don't have any evidence it was a rigged election. You can't do that. It's irresponsible and it's wrong. So I was like, the Trump campaign was making all these claims about, you know, this or that fraud. So I was trying my best to substantiate them, to follow up on it. Everyone else was like, shut up, Trump, you lost, go away. We're going to indict you. But I felt like my job was to be like, no, he's president. He's claiming the election just got stolen and he's making these claims. Let's see if we can. Well, the people around him were like so incompetent. It was just absolutely crazy. And I called a couple of times. I finally gave up, but I'd call and be like, all right, you guys claim that these inconsistencies and this, you know, whatever this happened, give me evidence and I'll put it on TV. You know, it's my job to bring stuff that is not going to be aired anywhere else to the public. It was insane how incompetent and unserious.
So they weren't able to provide
well, here's the point of the story and of that text. So then they come out and they say, well, dead people voted. Well, that's just an easy call. Okay. If a dead person voted, we can prove someone's dead because like being dead is one of the few things we're good at like verifying because you start to smell. Okay. And there's a record of it. It's called a death certificate. So it was like, give me the names of people who are dead who voted. And then we can get their registration and we can show they voted. 5 names. So I go on TV and I say, this, you know, Caroline Johnson, 79 of Waukegan, Illinois, voted. Here's her death certificate. She died. And the campaign sends me this stuff. Now, I, in general, don't take stuff directly from campaigns because they all lie because their job is to get elected or whatever. So I'm very wary of campaigns, having been around it for 30 years. So like, but I made an exception to my rule and I got a bunch of stuff from them. Well, like of the 6 names, 2 of them are still alive. What? I immediately corrected it the next night. CNN did a whole segment on how I was spreading disinformation, which I was, by the way. In this one case, they were right. I was so mad. I was like, I hate you. I'm not talking about you. I'm so mad. Anyway, that's the answer. That's what that was.
Now back to the video with Bill Maher and Zachary Levi here.
And he's savaging Trump. So that's how we know he's full of shit, because we have it. We have the actual text in complete diametrically opposition to what he was saying on the air about, you know, Dominion voting systems and all this bullshit that they tried to. And again, this is the main difference between the left and the right here. When the left loses an election, yes, they grumble about it and they say things they shouldn't, like he's an illegitimate president. They don't actually try to stay in office. Kamala Harris.
Hang on a second. Bill, if Hillary Clinton and the Democrats got their way when they were challenging Trump and saying he was an illegitimate president in 2016, and they somehow got that bullshit Steele dossier to somehow, which was, by the way, all completely nonsense.
You watch too much Fox News.
No, I don't watch Fox News at all.
I
legitimately do not watch Fox News.
Well, you're getting
well,
this.
Hold on a second, Bill. Did they not all think that he was a Russian asset and that Russia had fixed the election?
Okay.
Was that not what they were saying?
Okay, but I got to explain to you the difference.
Was it not?
And then we don't have to talk about this all night.
Was it not?
I will. But here's the difference. 2016, Trump pulls an inside straight and wins the electoral college.
Mind you guys, they were pushing this Russia collusion stuff for at least up into the midterms regarding Trump's first term. Hillary Clinton, leftist biased legacy media was pushing Russia collusion, at least well past the midterms.
College.
Yeah.
Hillary acknowledges this happened, concedes the election before the cock crows the next day. Same as this time. Kamala Harris conceded the election, said, I lost. There's no lawsuits. There's no demanding recounts. There's none of this bullshit. There's, I trust the system, and I say the other guy won.
Now, I got to jump in here because Trump was recently on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker. You remember Kristen Welker's shoulder pads from the debate. Shoulder pads from the debate. And he said this about the election.
For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when
won't
you
ever
say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No, I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided, I agree. But Biden's the president, I'm not. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me. He went after his political opponent violently because he knew he couldn't beat him. And I think it really was a bad thing. And it really divided our country.
Sir, Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they are going around stealing elections, why
when you
didn't
say
they do it
Democrats
this
have
time?
control now?
Of the White House.
Yeah.
So why didn't they steal this election? Since they have more power now.
Because I think it was too big to rig.
What happened after that? The Russia thing. First of all, that's completely debatable. But if you really think that there's some sort of equivalency here between after the guy who you admit won the election is in office, carping about him, saying, oh, the election was unfair because of this or that, that has gone on throughout history. But nobody has done what he did, which is he still has not conceded the 2020 election. Took it to court 63 times, was laughed out of court 63 times, pressured the Justice Department to not, asked his supporters to march on the Capitol.
He didn't ask them to do that.
Okay, but
And also he requested the National Guard, and it's been confirmed that he was denied by Pelosi.
Here's a clip with Nancy Pelosi saying that she made a huge mistake regarding J6.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had, they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
I behaved so well. I did such a good job. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't do that,
but
and now
Nancy
I understand.
Pelosi doesn't have the
I
authority
understand that the
you
police
have as
testified
commander in
against.
chief, though.
Listen to me, Kristen. Listen to me. I understand that the police testified against her. The chief very strongly against her. Capitol Police, great people. They testified against her, and they burned all the evidence. Okay, they burned all the evidence. They destroyed all the evidence about Nancy Pelosi.
What do you say to people who wonder why you as commander-in-chief, you have authorities that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have as commander-in-chief?
No, she has authority over the
Why didn't you
Capitol.
send help in that moment, though?
Frankly, just so you understand, I assumed that she took care of it. She turned down.
So when you realized that the National Guard wasn't coming?
Well, you don't realize anything until quite a while. National Guard not coming. I asked it to be there 3 days in advance, and she turned it down.
She said.
the point is that by not conceding the election, by never saying from November, whatever day that election was, November 5th or something, to January 6th, he had 2 months to say to his supporters, yeah, we lost. We'll come back next time. You don't win them all. Like every other president and candidate ever did, including when it was possibly not kosher, like Nixon in 1960, Al Gore in 2000, but they did it. They came out and said
After a recount.
If you don't get why that's completely different than whatever you're trying to say is an equivalency,
Hold on a second.
then I can't talk more about this. I just have to accept this.
But let me just let me clarify though.
But it is.
I'm actually not. But I'm not trying to excuse all of that.
It's
I'm
as
really
crazy
not. I'm not
as
saying. I'm not saying
men
that
can
his.
have babies
I'm not
on the
saying
other
that
side.
that. That's straight getting into science of biology.
No, but it is.
No, there's a lot more nuance than that in this.
No, there isn't.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on a second.
There's
Hold on.
no nuance.
I'm not saying that the way
election.
that he took that was the right way to do it. I agree with you. I don't think he should have done it that way. If he actually thought that the election was being stolen, he should have done something else about that, as opposed to getting lost in his ego, which he did, which he does a lot. And I don't like that about Trump. I don't like that he does have, as part of his superpower, it is this ego that has protected him and made him strong and powerful and capable of being very charming and doing all the things he's done. And listen, I know a lot of people that know him. I'm like, personally, I've never met him, but the people that do know him on a personal level will speak to the fact that he is a human. There's a human in there who really does want the best.
Right.
Did he handle it in the best way? I agree with you. I don't think he did. I don't.
Handle it in the best way is like a super charitable way
I
of
think
characterizing,
but there's a lot
not conceding the election, the cornerstone of what democracy is.
Let me ask you a question.
So can we get off this? I mean,
okay, what else do you want to talk
because
about?
it's just frustrating for both of us.
Let's talk about something else. What do you want to talk about?
let's do that.
What do you want to talk about?
And
What are you
not
smoking?
that-
Are you smoking sativa or indica?
And I ain't mad at you.
Oh, buddy,
I ain't mad.
We good. Don't worry about it.
I ain't mad at you.
I love this shit.
Me too. And but again, I'm the man in the middle. I feel like I'm the perfect one in this country to bring us together. Because
I personally don't think he's the one in the middle. He might have swayed more in the middle after this election cycle. But before then, he was definitely not the man in the middle. I want to jump into the comment section here really quick. Damn, I wish we could get more of this conversation like two guys who disagree on things, but the same thing, agree on other stuff and show respect at the end. I agree with that. I want more of this going forward for the sake of the country, please. Yes, 100%. Bill says he can admit when he's wrong, but never does. LOL. Zachary is a new fan of me. I enjoyed this conversation. Bill's biggest and best insult: you are adorable. Bill Maher won't let him get a sentence out every time they argue about something. He can't win arguments in any other way. Bill became childish when it came to the counter arguments about Trump. Hillary concedes the election, pause, then spends 3 years lying about how illegitimate Trump is. Oh, man. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on this. I'll place a link for the full interview in the description link down below. Let me know your thoughts. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.